Welcome to my top 15 favorite homemade movies, part 2. Really, you're too kind. In this one, you're gonna see my next 5 favorite movies, and that's pretty much it. So enjoy this video.
Going to the park to skate on the curves until the cops kick me out for shredding too hard. I said shredding the nard, shredding the nard, I'm shredding the nard.
Epic Visual Effects Reel 4. This was the 4th, obviously, of my visual effects showcases, and in my opinion, the best. The music was custom made by me in GarageBand, the effects were so fresh and colorful, and it has a replay value like none of the other effects reels. Another little part that helps push this video to my favorites is where it shows different clips of my videos and me throughout the years. It's so eerie to me seeing my life go by on film in just a few seconds. It reminds me that I make videos because I've loved it since I was a child. Those few seconds really make me think about life, and for that, this video gets to be number 10.
Going to the park to skate on the curves until the cops kick me out for shredding too hard. I said shredding the nard, shredding the nard, I'm shredding the nard.
War. What can I say? This fight scene is just so freaking awesome. There's no point to it, tons of bullets and explosions, intense grading, and awesome music to match. There's just no better fight scene that I've ever made. War 2 comes really close, but this is the original, you just can't beat it. It was filmed in just a few hours, and it was very difficult to film. We had to try so hard to make it so that it wasn't obvious that John had a broken arm, and at the same time, we couldn't show John's face, so that limited us to showing about half of John's body. There were so many takes and screw-ups, but eventually we got it done. Post-production was just insanity. I was using my mom's computer at this point, and the hardest part was motion matching the explosions as they happened. My mom's computer was slow, and every little move was just so painstakingly long. Once I got it completely edited and done with, the results were mind-boggling. The video was like nothing I'd ever done before, and it was groundbreaking. John and I watched it over and over again in amazement, and it became a classic right there. And now it's on the list to prove it as number 9.
Going to the park to skate on the curves until the cops kick me out for shredding too hard. I said shredding the nard, shredding the nard, I'm shredding the nard.
Clone Wars 6, Back from the Future. Clones have always been a part of my filmmaking, and of all my Clone Wars videos, this one is the best, I think. It's basically about a clone of mine sent back from the future to kill me. I tried to go more for suspense in this film, which I believe I achieved. It didn't really seem like it on YouTube, and it still doesn't. And when I first made it, I found it to be silly and just another clone fight, and then I disregarded it and went on with my other videos. About 2 months later, however, I was watching some of my videos on my TV via a monitor cable, and I decided to watch Clone Wars 6. I watched it on the big screen, and it blew me away. I was on the edge of my seat, even though I knew how it was going to end, and I was just stunned. If it hadn't been for me watching this film on my TV, it wouldn't be on my list, but luckily I did. And if you ever get the chance, I highly recommend you watch this on your TV. I don't care what anyone says, size does matter, especially in this case, and for that reason, Clone Wars 6 is number 8.
Going to the park to skate on the curves until the cops kick me out for shredding too hard. I said shredding the nard, shredding the nard, I'm shredding the nard.
The Ultimate Battle. This was filmed by my friend Dylan and I at his house up in Pennsylvania. It's basically just a random fight scene between us, and was shot in some pretty awesome locations, such as an abandoned museum and an enormous 40-foot cliff. Filming on top of the cliff was pretty terrifying, might I add. If we fell, we probably would have died. Anyway, I know I said War was the greatest fight scene I've ever made, and I stand by that. This fight scene wasn't as good, but the video was. It's hard to explain. So we edited it, put it to Matrix Reloaded music, and it syncs perfectly. We didn't even mean to make it that way, it just happened. It instantly became one of my all-time favorite videos I've made, and now it's on the list to show it as number 7.
Going to the park to skate on the curbs until the cops kick me out for shredding too hard. I said shredding the nard, shredding the nard. I'm shredding the nard.
Clone Juice. From concept work to filming to editing, this entire project was made in just 2 days. I made it in such a hurry for the same reason as Rocks, to show it at my school. I filmed it in one day and started editing it the same day, and editing was completely finished the next day. Many problems showed up, like throughout this process, however. For example, I was editing in Sony Vegas, and it was my first time using it for film, so I didn't exactly know how to control it. And I was also using a netbook to edit it in HD, so as you can imagine, editing went along very slowly. I was going about a mile per hour and had several miles to go. I edited for probably about 5 hours the first day and then another 7 the next. That's 12 hours of editing for a 7-minute film. Words cannot express the gut-wrenching boredom. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy editing, but 7 hours in one day? No thanks. I put so much more work per day into this film than any I've ever made, and for that, it gets to come in on my list of favorite videos as number 6. What could be my top 5 favorite movies that I've ever made? Well, tune in next week to find out, in the 3rd and final installment of my top 15 homemade videos ever made. Yeah, oh yeah.
So psyched, it's retarded.